Thank you for joining us today. My name is Clayton Roberts. I'm one of the career consultants here at the University of Idaho. And for today, we're going to kind of walk through career fair networking night preparation. Walk through those steps to get you ready for career fair, what career fair is, and all the fun things that entail from it. So let's get going. So kind of going through what our logical order is. What I want to kind of hit on first is just kind of the preparation process that leads up to it. It all is going to really depend upon what you're trying to get out of career fair. There are some that are going to go there, absolutely. I'm trying to get that job, I'm trying to get that internship. Most people I recommend just go there to explore, see what options are out there available, talk to professionals in industry, because what this can help is tailor aspects or figure out classes that can lead you into a career path. A lot of people, I'm not really sure what I want to do. By talking to people, we can really start figuring out how we can take various degrees, various majors, expertise, and really put you into a whole variety of different career options or even different employers. I never thought I'd have a chance of getting to work with them. A lot of this will start with our networking night and how we start utilizing networking night, what we're really trying to get out of this process. And then we'll walk you through, the fun part, going through the career fair. And if nothing else, go to career fair, meet people, get all kinds of free stuff. I tell you, you go to career fair, you will never need a pin for the rest of your academic life. So where do we start off? First, I got to go through a bunch of public service announcements about career services, because this is what we do. We're part of the university. Our biggest focus is to teach you the process. I can go to a career consultant out in town and pay several $100s to have somebody look at my resume and write it. Our job, we'll look at it, but we're here to teach you those steps and those processes. Because what we want you to do is be able to carry that forward. Hey, this is concepts of resumes. This is how I work through interviews. This is how I need to negotiate salaries. So that 10, 15 years down the line, you remember that. I'm changing careers. I have those understandings. I understand what goes into this process. That's what we're here to do. And we provide this service to students, alums, staff, faculty. And the beauty is that alumni part. Once you graduate, you're an alum. This is a free service for you for the rest of your life. And it's not just reaching out to career consultants. So is the career fair. So, you want to come back to Moscow, go to the career fair? Sure, you can. But these become those services that we do provide to you. And that's the idea. So that you always have that safety net that you can reach back to. And hey, what's changed in the world? It's been 10 years. I'm looking at changing majors. We're here to help with that. And of course, we've got all kinds of services. Absolutely. Those resumes, or, I'm looking at going into research. How do I create the CV? How do I articulate that? What's the difference between the two? Cover letters. One of the biggest things we help with is that major and career exploration. I'm a first year freshman. I don't know what I want to do, what I want to major in. That's what we can help with. I'm a senior getting ready to graduate. I don't want to go into the field that my major aligns with. What else can I do? This is where we come into play. Start looking at your experiences, your education holistically. What did you learn in the process? This is what starts opening those doors, where we can start taking the talent and what you've learned and applying it to a wide variety of different occupations, different career fields that you may not have thought was even open to you. Okay, grad school. Well, that is a career milestone. We help with that process. This is how we write those statements of purpose, letters of intent, what the timeline looks like for applying to various different grad school processes, whether it's straight up regular academic or whether we're looking at going to med. These become all those avenues that we can help with. Sure, we help with a job search. Interview prep. Nobody likes going through interviews. That's what we're here for. We're here to help grill you and teach you what people are actually asking for in an interview, what they're looking for, how to articulate yourself. Then, okay, I nailed that interview. They're giving me a job. How do I negotiate? Can I negotiate? Oh, absolutely. It might not always be salary. Benefits, that is money as well. How can we pair those two together? How do we do the research to find out that I'm getting what I'm actually worth? The networking and professionalism. How to navigate LinkedIn. Those two kind of go hand in hand, right? LinkedIn is electronic networking, but I need to know how to talk to people in person. And that's what we're actually getting ready to ramp up for next week. And then, of course, all this leading up to the career fair, how all of these pieces fall in together. Now, where can you find some of this? On our website. I highly recommend the little resource tab at the bottom. That is the easiest way to get to some of the main services. But if we go into under the More tab, you can actually student support. And this is going to have a lot of the online services that we provide that helps you self-explore. And then we can come in and talk and go through some of what you've learned or what you want clarification on. What some of the services that we have. Handshake. This is not just a job board. A lot of people look at this and say, oh, this is just a job board. Sure, that's what we're seeing. And there's a reason we use this. Handshake offers post jobs that are geared for college students. That's it. You're not now competing with the millions of other people out there that are applying to Indeed, Monster, Google Jobs. This is just for college students. But it's not just that job board. We also post info sessions. This is what we use for events. So this is where you can find all the information about the career fair, who's coming, networking nights, industry talks. When we have industry reps that come onto campus, we all store it here. So you have really a one-stop shop for all of your career exploration while you're here. As well as this is where you schedule appointments with career consultants. So, you know, you spark something. I would like to have a follow-up with you. This is where you can actually schedule those appointments at. Now we have some other services available. Trying to figure out careers. I'm trying to just figure out who I am. This is what Career Explorer and Focus 2 are there for. Helps to identify what your interests are so that we can try to steer you in directions that you're going to be happy with, i.e. either careers or degrees that are going to help you meet your expectations. What can I do with this major is a fun one. What? I've got this degree. This is all I'm told I can do with it. Not necessarily. There's a lot of applications for what your degree translates into. Again, it's all based on what you're learning in the process, not necessarily what's on that piece of paper. That's the way we want to kind of start looking at things, that you've got a lot of options out there. Talked about those dreaded interviews. Well, we've got a nice tool for you. It's called Big Interview. And what Big Interview does is it uses the computer on your camera to give you a virtual interview. And it's not just for jobs. You can use it for grad school applications. Especially a lot of those are now going to a first round. You're talking to a chatbot. You can start practicing for that. So we try to give you as many user-friendly tools out there as possible. The other nice thing about Big Interview, oh, it's a Sunday morning. Oh, I got an interview on Monday. I can't talk to a consultant. Absolutely, you can. You can start with Big Interview and go through those virtuals and practice. So that's why we try to get as many tools out there available for all of you to utilize to help you out. And this is what Big Interview kind of looks like. So as you see, we can come in, we can look at practice sets. But, you know, maybe I want to improve on just general interview. I have practice sets. There's training modules in here, learning modules. Under the practice sets, I can find industry specifically. So let me let some people in. There we go. But the nice thing is as you go through the interview, it's giving you this data metrics. How strong your responses were. What your rate of speech was. Oh, how many times I said a minute during my response. But especially for those virtual interviews that you're going to go into, it's going to tell you length. So a lot of them will give you a minute and a half to answer a question. This is where you can now actually start practicing your response and get comfortable with, oh, that was what a minute and a half felt like. So there is a lot of great features here that can help to enhance your opportunity. Then once you get done with this, we recommend you come in and talk to us, because it's one thing to talk to a computer. It's another thing to have somebody sitting across the table with a blank stare, scribbling stuff on a piece of paper. That's what we're here to do, is to get you comfortable with the interview process so that you go into it. Okay, this is a conversation. This is what they're trying to pull out of it. I can relax. So now some of the other things that we provide, some of the opportunities. Well, congratulations, you found the Vandal workshop. We run this every semester. And we structure it intentionally in the way it is. It helps to get you prepped for career fair. Well, then what happens after career fair? Oh God, somebody's got interviews. This is where we now go into those interview skills. How to work on your LinkedIn profile, and then how to negotiate for salaries. Plus, you get the opportunity to be eligible to get a $500 scholarship. Who doesn't like free money? So there are some advantages. You get those career tools, but at the same time, yeah, you're entered in to possibly get that scholarship. Oh, I got career fairs coming up. Oh no, I didn't get my resume done. Don't worry. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, all day long here up in the ISUP, we're going to be doing basically a resume rush. 15-minute sessions. You can come bring in a resume. Where this helps, and in this process, is okay, this is my resume. We can go through and help you to kind of structure it. How does it read? This gets you set up for the next events. This gets you set up for networking night, then career fair. Because this is a building block process, especially if I'm looking for those internships or jobs, or simply trying to just sell myself to make personal contacts, how we can work through this process. So this is exactly why we're doing this next week. Networking events that are coming up. So we've got the whole list. Right now, 8 colleges are on board. Now, most of them are going to be sometime between 5:30 and 6 on February 11th. That's that Tuesday night. There is one exception. College of Science is actually going to be doing the luncheon on the afternoon of Wednesday the 11th. It's going to be in the ISUB downstairs, right before the career fair. So this gives you a chance to listen to employers, what they have to say, what their journeys were, and then afterwards socialize with them. So absolutely recommend taking advantage of these. College of Art and Architecture is doing a virtual interview. So a virtual networking night where you'll be able to go into breakout panels and talk to people. Again, we're trying to give you opportunities to engage with employers and find out about what you're interested in going into with as many avenues as possible. So recommend taking advantage of these events. This all leads up to our career fairs. So absolutely, Wednesday, February 11th, from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the Kibbe Dome. Now, as we go through, I will give you more details on directions and what this is going to look like, but want to start selling this now. So because of this, this is why we're here. How do I start preparing for the career fair? And this is kind of where we talked about there's a logical path that we're looking at going through. One is, okay, I can start working that resume early. Well, then how do I know what employers are looking for? How do I start extracting information on companies I might be interested in? This is why we structure this in this sequence. Why the career fair? Well, one, all right here, it gives me a chance to actually talk to people in the field that I'm interested in going into. I can find out what they want. What does that career actually look like? Because it's one thing to, oh, this is what I want to do. And then I start talking to somebody, that is not what I want to do. Or suddenly I strike up a conversation with somebody I may not have had any interest in and say, that's the job I want. What organizations are out there? What can be successful in the field? What makes somebody stand out? Because ultimately what I've got to do is, how do I make you stand out from everybody that you're graduating with? And then how do you stand out from everybody that's graduated with that same degree at that same time throughout the country? This is where we start finding that out. Because if I know what the employer is looking for, I can start differentiating myself, making my skills stand out. Sometimes you might get an on-the-spot interview. Those are fun because they're really interested in you. And you think, oh, well, this is just a conversation. Suddenly you find out after that little discussion, would you like a job? These things happen. Putting a face to an application. We are more accustomed to hiring somebody that we're familiar with than just a name on a piece of paper. That becomes the other advantage of this process. They get to see you as a person. People hire people. This is what this opportunity does. And of course, free stuff. Like I said, you go there, you'll never need a pen for the rest of your academic career, but they got all kinds of other goodies that they're trying to entice you to the table and to talk to. So if you come out with a half-empty bag, we say go back in and go fill that bag up. but this is the start of building your professional network. It's exactly. You're socializing, making friends with professionals. That is networking, and that's where your professional network starts. So how we prepare? Well, start by going to Handshake. So if I come into Handshake, I can come up to the events tabs, and now I can see, okay, what's coming up? Career fair is coming up. Well, if I go into that career fair, I can see, there's 126. Now, there's 127. Sorry, I built this slide the other day. There's now 127 employers that are coming to the career fair. Well, underneath, I can click and view who are they. And what I can get is I get a laundry list of every employer that's coming. Now I can go into each of these employers, and this is what you're going to see. It's this short little spill. Don't worry, click that little more button. And now this will bring up what they're specifically looking for. Now, don't let this discourage you. Oh, I was interested in amalgamated sugar, but man, they're just looking for engineering interns. No, that is what their recruiters are sent because that's what their human capital management is for. They need to fill these positions. This is a large company. Don't think they don't have other positions. They're just trying to recruit to fill a gap need. Talk to them. If you're interested in going to work for this company, talk to them. This is where you might find out about those other positions that they know about. You make a connection with somebody that they can start giving those tippers. Hey, you were a good fit. We liked what you said. This position is just opening. That's where we take advantage of this. So don't be discouraged if you see, oh man, that's all they're looking for. These are all businesses. They hire lots of different people, different backgrounds. But the recruiters come here possibly to fill very specific needs that they're trying to fill. So don't let that discourage you. And here's a smattering of people that are going to show up. So we get people from all different disciplines all around the country. We've got architectural firms coming in, business, engineering firms, of course, wildlife, tribes. We've got cities coming in. So healthcare, a wide smattering of different individuals coming to this career fair gives you an opportunity to talk to various industries that align with all of our degree options here. Just going out and making contact with them. This can get overwhelming. But we'll walk through how we get around it. So, what else do we got to come up with? Oh man, what am I supposed to dress like? How am I supposed to look? Well, this is where we can start this exploration process. Now, did anybody go last week to Joe's Closet? Anybody need professional clothing? That was an opportunity to get some free stuff because I'd rather have you get it for free than pay $500 and then have to worry about how you're going to eat, because I know what it's like to eat off of tomato soup and saltines. Not very fun. So take advantage of some of these free options. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of them. But what do I wear? Well, what does the industry look for? Does everybody have to wear a suit and tie? Not necessarily. Professional attire does not look the same across the board. Now, ideally, sure, I want to look a step above what the employer looks like. Well, how do I know what that is? This is why we can go to networking. We can start to see what they look like. And we have an advantage because when the employers come to our networking night, they are just leaving the career fair from WSU. So they're still dressed. So now we can start gauging, oh, that's what they dress like. Okay, I can outdo you. I can go one step higher. That's where we can start using networking night to start figuring out how I want to dress. Now there's some other things that we can do. Look at homework. Here's homework. But what are these different dress styles? Well, sure, I can go casual, but what does that say? There may be a time and a place that I'd be looking at dressing like this, especially all I want to do is I'm comfortable like this. I'm just trying to get information. I'm not trying to solicit a job. Okay, now still I recommend, let's at least find some non-holy jeans. Maybe do smart casual. Okay, I take myself seriously. And that's kind of the idea behind this dress. It's I take myself seriously because I'm looking to go into a profession. Oh, well, maybe I want to take it one step up. Business casual. This is probably your most average. Most really companies that you're going to see, this is going to be the nature. But no, I want to be that financial manager. Okay, now I may be looking at business professional. So it's understanding the industry we're going into and being able to kind of gauge off of what we see the employers that sets us up for how we need to dress for that type of position. But like I said, knowing your industry, professional attire is not uniform. So if I'm going to go be a crop inspector, button-up shirt and blue jeans may be appropriate. If I'm going to go be a forester, steel-toe boots, something that says, okay, I can work in the office, look clean, but I can go work out in the field. I'm going to go be a banker. Okay, that is the attire. Is that professional? So understand your industry helps to figure out how we want to dress for that. Now, some things we do want to avoid, absolutely, because we're trying to eliminate things that are going to distract from who we are presenting ourselves. So yes, hats, backpacks, sweatpants, shorts, pajamas, things that distract from us. Now, I did mention, absolutely, we had Joe's Closet. It was a great place to pick up some free professional clothing. Do you know about any other free closets on campus? Well, there are. College of Business, downstairs in the basement. That is where they have their free professional clothing closet. EHHS also has one. So this becomes opportunities where you can pick up something and not break the bank in the process. Take advantage of those services. That way you have gas money so you can go home or take a trip on spring break. Just saying, there's options. All right, so now got some clothes. I went to that resume review. Now I can start hitting this networking night. Well, bring up again where all these are going to occur at. Great opportunity to go meet professionals, talk to people in those fields. It's a chance also to socialize with faculty, staff, people that can help you out in that process. If for nothing else, go for a free meal. And just because I'm majoring in agribusiness does not mean I cannot go to the College of Business. Does not mean I can go talk to an employer from the College of Engineering's networking night. Take advantage of this, especially if there's companies or employers that you're interested in talking to. And you can taste what they're serving in each one of these because they're all going to be different. Looking out for you, trying to help you out. So the real question is, okay, what is networking night? In reality, it's a chance for you to socialize. That's it. The intent is to give students that opportunity to socialize and talk to professionals. Now, in some cases, some of the colleges will kind of set it up as a mini career fair. Well, that kind of takes away from that socialization where I can sit and talk to somebody and start getting information, introduce myself, meeting people in a casual environment, rather than when we go to the career fair and they're sitting behind a booth all dressed up and I'm trying to pitch myself. That was the intent behind networking night. Gives you a chance to meet those professionals, but also take advantage of talking to faculty and staff at the same time, especially if you don't do that on a regular basis. Because the employer you're looking for might not be here. Your faculty may have a connection. So this is where the advantage of going to this event comes into play. I can talk to industry, but I can also start building some of those relationships with other people, especially faculty where I might be looking for a recommendation, especially I might go into grad school. Right here, this becomes an opportunity. Gives me a chance to learn. What is the direction industry is going? What are they looking for? What makes somebody stand out? How impactful is AI in your business? We hear it all day on the news. Oh, AI is destroying everything. Now we get to talk. How do you use it? Are you using it? Is that something that I really need to worry about? What better way than to talk to the people that may be using it or that you may be going to work for? And then finally, practice. Not many of us have that much opportunity to actually interact with industry people on a regular basis. We interact with each other. How often do I get a chance to go talk to somebody, a project engineer from Switch engineering. Well, right here, this becomes an opportunity so that I can start learning how I strike up that conversation, how I can start extracting information. Oh, so what can I get out of this networking night? Well, I want to ask those questions. Make connections with alumni. Right there, you have something in common with somebody. They graduated from this university too. You're a Vandal. You immediately have something in connection. Can you leverage that? Again, we practice starting those conversations because it's not always easy. And how do I broach a situation? What better way than, okay, pick somebody that I'm not interested in. Go up and talk to them. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to hire me? Great. I didn't want to work for them anyways. But now you practice starting a conversation. And then, yeah, socialize. That's it. Because you're going to be a lot more relaxed in a social environment. People are actually going to get to see who you are. That's what you're starting to do. And you're building those connections with somebody in industry. I built a professional network. That's the joy of this. And like I said, it's putting a face to a name. They're much more inclined to hire somebody that they have talked to. I recognize that person. That's the application. That's the resume we want to see. It helps. That's the important part. So what do I want to learn from somebody? How do I strike up these conversations? Okay, well, we got some general ideas what we can talk about. Ask them general tips. What are you guys looking for right now? What makes somebody stand out? Do you enjoy what you're doing? Ask about those careers, because this is just as much an interview process for you as it is for them. Is this the company I want to work for? I don't like your career. I don't like your culture of your company. You might not know that until you start talking to people. This is not going to match for me. This was the company I thought was my dream, and suddenly I start talking to people and no, I want to try something else. What does a day look like? What do you actually do? Oh, I thought you guys spent more time in the lab. You mean you spend 90% of your day typing emails? Okay, this is where we find that information out. What roles are available to you? Okay, what kind of internship opportunities? What kind of entry-level jobs? Where do I start? What does my career look like? This is where we find it out. And then this is the helpful tip. What do you wish you had studied? What do you wish you would have done while you were in school? Because you still have time. You can add things. So this is stuff where we can start learning and how we can start applying this for the long run. But how do I start a conversation? Usually the easiest way is just, hi. I see you're with that company, because they're usually going to have name tags on. They're going to have these lanyards. It's going to identify. Okay, that's how we can start breaking the ice. I don't have to approach them direct and, hi, what jobs you got? No, I want to start a conversation with people. Just like meeting a new classmate. Okay, start of the semester, how do I meet people in the class? Kind of like this. View it the same way. So I know it can be intimidating, but it's that same concept. You're building a personal connection. Yeah. Ask them about what do they think about the weather? If you know they're an alum, what's changed here? Or what's the same? Oh yeah, yep, Nicholas Building hasn't changed. Okay, this gives you some places that you can start making connections and starting a conversation. Okay, so we do throw in some tips. Okay, you walk up to somebody, you say hi. Be sure to tell you your name. Introduce yourself. That's usually helpful. We want them to know your name. Other than, I know the face. I don't know which resume is theirs. Introduce yourself. Now, sometimes we do say, go ahead, step away so that you can have those one-on-one conversations. Not everybody is comfortable with that. And sometimes a group conversation can be just as important, because we've got a lot of people that I would rather casually observe, and then I'm going to interject when, okay, something catches my attention, but maybe I'm not that comfortable starting it out. There's absolutely, in some cases, nothing wrong with being in the group, because chances are there's going to be somebody in that group that really likes to talk and is going to ask questions, and you're learning in the process. So there's a time, yeah, I might want to break away so that I can really kind of socialize myself. Other times, if I'm going just to find information out, going with a group isn't that bad. Because, like I said, probably somebody's going to want to talk. Use that to your advantage so that you can start learning stuff. Do take advantage of the appetizers at dirt, just don't go overboard. Caution on the libations, and then get people's names. So if you started a conversation and you had something interesting, get their names, because this becomes that follow-up for the next day at the career fair. Now, what do we get from a lot of this conversation? This is what helps us to start crafting our elevator pitch. There are times and places that elevator pitch works effectively, especially if there's somebody targeted, I've made a connection, okay, now I can sell myself and the skills that I bring. Hi, my name is Clayton Roberts. I'm a chemistry major at the University of Idaho. I'm very much interested in the production control and polymerization process that your company is using for the development of this. I think by some of the skills that I've picked up and process controls might be able to help in X. Okay, right there. A quick elevator pitch that kind of tied in who I am, what I bring to the table. Not everybody is comfortable with that. I know this firsthand. That may not be what is best for you. How do I get somebody into a conversation? Well, there are things that I can address. What do you think about? Lovely day today. I like those shoes. Where did you get them? What you have now done is you have shifted the dynamics of a conversation. You've taken it away from the job and focused it on something else that people are more comfortable discussing. Now I get you into a conversation. Now we can start spinning that back to introducing ourselves and slowly feeding in information while extracting information from them. So there's half a dozen different ways that we can approach the elevator pitch. The whole key behind this is, how do I start striking up those conversations and start finding out what I'm trying to get? Because remember, this is about you. What do you want to learn? What are your interests? You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. So we do put out, okay, here's my quick 30-second intro speech. Because some people do like this. And they want to go home and they want to script it out. So this is what we kind of give some ideas on how I can structure this speech, because that is comfortable to some people as well. I've memorized a speech. This is what I want to go say. Now the fun part. How do I end that conversation? Especially if I am not interested in you, but how do I be professional about ending it? Well, we give some tips. I really appreciate the advice you've shared. I will definitely look into that. Thank you very much for your time. Depart. Okay. Transition. I know there's especially this one works great. If I am not interested in this company and I can't get them to shut up. I know there's a lot of students that want to talk to you. So I did want to respect your time. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Now you can shuffle away from that conversation. Now, if I am interested, but there's a couple other companies. Do you have a business card, or is there any other way I could follow up with you if I have questions in the future? This one becomes helpful, especially I got that contact, because now if I can get a business card, if I can get a name, email, LinkedIn profile, I can now start following up. I have now built a professional network, but now I need to maintain it. Okay, wait maybe a day, connect with them again. Hey, you brought up this interesting point about this. I'd like to follow up with you about this. Or I thought about this question that now you've established communication. You're establishing that professional network. And this also helps the next day when you go see them again at the career fair. Okay, so now I've got all this information. How does this help me? What do I do with it? Well, it's how I'm going to use this. Because again, remember, this is about you, trying to get you successful. I know this insight. This is what they're looking for employees. This is what they're looking for interns. Now I can go home and I can go update my resume, because now I know exactly what they're looking for. This is what you're looking for an employee. This is what you're looking for an internship. Go add that into my resume. I can go update my LinkedIn profile, and then I can go connect with them and they can see this is what you're gaining from networking night. That's where it becomes a value. All right, so after the networking night, okay, reflect on what you've learned. What did I gain? What insight do I know? How do I know how to recraft myself? How do I want to make that, modify that sales pitch? I now have some professional contacts. Yes, I'm going to think about crafting up some emails to get a hold of these people. I'm going to go connect with them on LinkedIn, or I'm going to follow their organization so that I can keep that relationship going. And then, yes, I'm going to go home and I'm going to update my marketing strategy, AKA your resume. Because now you know what they're looking for. I know how to modify things now. Okay, so now we're getting career ready. What have we done? We've done our research. We went to Handshake. We looked up the companies. We have Google stalked them. We've stalked them on LinkedIn. We know this is what they do. This is their mission. This is their values. These are positions. All right. We've made contact with them. I've started having that interaction. We know what they're looking for. We've updated our resumes, figured out what we're going to wear, get all this ready. Now we get ready to go explore a career fair. Caveat with confidence, because you know what to expect. You're not going in blind. This is why this is a staggered process that we walk through. We'll help you with your resume, talk to them, update it, get those clothes, so that now I can go to career fair and I'm very focused on what I'm looking for. Or I can go to career fair and I can continue to explore. Different options for different people. But that's what it's here for. And our spring career fair, February 11th, 1 to 5 o'clock. Where is it at? It's in the Kibbe Dome. Now there's two entrances into the Kibbe Dome. We are going to shift it to the north entrance. That's where the arrow's pointing. We'll have signage out there to help direct you in. Why this is important to know? Because we're going to have a map inside. Once you come into the Kibbe Dome, you'll be able to check in. You're going to get a name tag. This is helpful because, shoot, I didn't introduce myself. I want to go back up to this person. Now they can actually see my name. It helps to alleviate that. We also let you put major stickers on there, especially organizations looking for certain things, helps to break the ice. Others, this becomes an icebreaker because you might be standing in front of a booth and suddenly they come up. So what is that, Dot? I'm not familiar with it. You've now started a conversation. I can explain, oh, this is what I do. Those become icebreakers for you. So this is what it's going to look like. So we have the map. They only give us part of the Kibbe Dome because it's set up for spring sports. So we're going to have it come in. You'll check in. Don't worry, there's going to be support there. We have tables. We have signage. We're going to direct you where to go. But they do have a typical flow path that's going to take you through the fair. And it's designed this way intentionally so that you get to experience all the employers. Doesn't mean you have to talk to them all, just means you get a chance to interact with them all. And if you get finished, maybe I should talk to this person. Yeah, go back through. We're also going to have pop can set up. Anybody want a professional photo? Real easy. You can go there, get a professional photo, and it get emailed to you right then and there. So try to make it as easy as possible. One-stop shopping for everybody. Great. I still don't know where to start. What do I do? We're going to have a career service table right there. As soon as you check in, before you can get to the service team, come find us. Because we're going to have the map. So it will have where all the employers are, what table they're at. So specifically, I'm looking for this one, this one, this one. Where are they? Oh, here. Now you know how to strategically hit those people. One side will be the map, one will be alphabetical, and then you can decode. Quick way, just come talk to us. We can help you get that process. So for the career fair, what do I want to have? Very important. Reflect. Why am I going? What do I want to achieve? What are your goals? Remember, this is about you. This is getting you ready for the future. What is my intent? I just want to learn. No, I'm looking for internships. I'm looking for a job. That's your goals. Have that before we come in. Done that homework? We've looked at the companies, we've looked at the organizations. All right. Now, maybe I want to have materials. Absolutely. A resume. Two different types. I may have one specifically for a company, for a position. That would be a targeted one. I may have a general. Hey, this is what I'm doing. And I'm using this to kind of socialize. Basically, I'm casting the line out there and I'm hoping something bites. Getting feedback at the same time. What can I improve on this? Oh, well, maybe this. You're learning. That's good. Maybe I want that elevator pitch. Okay. And do I have the right attire? So things to kind of think about. Things to bring. So if I am going to bring resumes, recommend about 10 to 15. It all depends. Depends how many people you're trying to target. We typically recommend bring a folder. One side you got your resumes, the other you collect information, contacts. Have a notepad, something so that you can take notes, stuff that you can take back with you and reflect on it. Sure, we say a pen. In reality, you hit that first booth, you're probably going to get the pen. If not, maybe I like very specific pens. Okay, have something to write down stuff on. Now, some other things that do come in handy, and we've seen it before, people will come with business cards, electronic business cards. Some of the employers will have them. You can actually tap the phone so you can swap contact information. It's just a great way to continue to build those professional networks, because now I've got a contact information. I can get a hold of somebody. They can get a hold of me. So during the fair, yes. Again, stressing for what your industry is. Again, they're not going to be the same. That's why we look at it. Okay, I'm going to come in with an elevator pitch. Let's practice it ahead of time. This is what we can do at networking night. That's where networking night really comes in, because you can see, didn't go over well. Let me try it again. Okay. And then have some questions. Now, if I'm not comfortable talking to people yet, a lot of times we recommend go pick a company again you have no interest in ever working for. Practice, break the ice. Okay, now you start getting into a conversation. Okay, this I can do. That allows you now to be more confident when you're actually, I'm interested in these people. You've got that spill down now. Because now it's second nature. I've been talking to all these people I don't care, but now I know how to talk. Gets you warmed up. So what kind of things might we be interested in? Hey, what kind of questions do I have for recruiters? These are very typical questions that we would recommend you ask at the end of an interview. Because again, it's the same thing. I'm trying to see, is this company, is this job the right fit for me? Absolutely. What does it mean for your company? What skills are you looking for? Can you tell me about the culture? Oh no, we got a bunch of micromanagers here that are very aggressive. Okay, maybe that's not my style. Or maybe, oh, perfect. That's the kind of environment I love. This is what you're trying to figure out. So you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. And then finally, yeah, I had great conversations. I can update my LinkedIn profile, but I can start reflecting. What did I learn? How can I make myself marketable for this position in the future? What can make me better? Or what options do I have? I never thought I could go to work for them, or them. That's what we start learning by going to the career fair, by networking, is you begin to start understanding that you're not limited to what your degree says. You've got a lot of options. The only way we're going to find that out is by exploring.